Jai Shri Krishna to all. Welcome to Path to Anandam Gita series. Freedom from pains and miseries to happy, healthy, and peaceful life. Based upon 108 mantras to awaken your soul, which is based on Srimad Bhagavad Gita. And here is also my question and God's answers. And today's session, our series number 54, and the title is AUM, the Wi-Fi to connect us to ultimate supreme power. And pranam to Guruji. Jai Shri Krishna Guruji, Charan pranam. Enjoyed your session this morning. And thank you very much for coming in our life and blessing us for this session and guiding us. And guiding to start the path to Anandam, path to ultimate knowing ourselves, who we are, and all the books which have been the #1 bestseller on Amazon with the CDs, and giving your message to rest of the world, wherever you are guiding us, wherever you are taking me, and blessing to the whole group here. So thank you very much for joining the session Sunday morning, especially the Memorial Day. So happy Memorial Day to everyone. So let's remind ourselves, refresh our memories, who we are here and why are we here. So our series 54 session is based on chapter 8. And the verses are taken there from, actual previous verses are, but the focus is here on starting from verse 5th to 8th. So what is Om and why Om mantra? How to chant and practice Om mantra? What are the benefits by doing it? And how can we practice it? And of course, our homework, and today our homework would be very interesting, but the sankalpa today is I recite Om mantra with every breath. Meditation and question and answers. So just to refresh everybody's memory here, our series #1 was New of Me, an ultimate purpose of my life, to attain that. So we are still on the same blissful journey, but in this session, as you can see, all the pains and miseries are here. And then through the Om mantra, we can reach to the level, ultimately union with God, realize who we are. So let's all pray to Lord Krishna for seeking his guidance by surrendering to him. Just like Arjuna, who did in a very difficult time of his life, when he was totally confused, affected with the circumstances, didn't want to perform his duty, what he was meant for as a Kshatriya, and he went into Vishad because he could not handle the turmoil, the moho, the attachment, the confusion, that why should he fight with his family members, his grandparents, his siblings, his brothers, all the relatives. But with the blessing of Lord Krishna, he was showered with Srimad Bhagavad Gita's Upadesh, Gyan, where he understood. And finally he said, I will do as you advise. I will perform my duty. I will go through this. And finally he said, Karishe Vachanam Ta. So let's all go through this blissful journey together on removing our impurities of heart and mind, transform ourselves, uplift ourselves to the level where we experience, who am I? I am Satchit Ananda. So Arjuna watch. Karpanya dosho pahat svabhava paschami tvam dharma samud cheta Vyachyasyani nishchitam bruhitan me Shishyaste aham chadimam tvam prapanyam Shishyaste aham chadimam tvam prapanyam. Arjuna said, my heart is overpowered by the weakness of pity. I have lost all my composure and my mind is confused about my duty, my dharma. What should I do and what should I not do? Therefore, I'm requesting you to tell me what is definitely good for me, not what I'm asking, what is definitely good for me. I am your disciple. I surrender to you. So please instruct me. And as just a reminder to all of us that Bhagavad Gita has 24,447 words, 18 chapters, further divided into three main yogas. Each chapter is called yoga. So karma yoga, bhakti yoga, jnana yoga. And first 6 chapters, yogas, are dedicated to karma yoga because the main focus of the session, the 6 chapters, was karma yoga. Though there are many messages, like chapter 2 had the complete summary of Bhagavad Gita. And the messages are given in a different contents, but focus was karma yoga. Why? Because Arjuna was Kshatriya and he could understand the language of only action, what he has to do. But now Lord Krishna also took him to the next session where it's a bhakti, devotion and compassion is so important to do your action and everything offering to God. So up to chapter 7, we studied entirely to know God. Vasudev Sarvam Iti. And Arjuna is still confused. He bombards Lord Krishna with so many questions at the end of chapter 7, which are almost 8, 7. Some people say 7, but actually these are 8 questions. And that's the name of this next chapter, 8, is Akshar Par Brahma Yoga. Akshar means, here he refers to the Om mantra because the focus is mainly on the Om. So through his wisdom, through his jnana, through answering his questions, Lord Krishna takes Arjuna and removes each layer at a time of his ignorance, because he's taking him to the ultimate essence, Anandam, who actually he is. We are all Satchit Anand. And Lord Krishna, through giving his wisdom to us, jnana to us, teaching us, and removing each layer of our ignorance. So ultimately, we get from Vishad to Prasad in union with God. Self-realization, who I am, this is a very good summary has prepared where you can see the Vishad through the Karma Yoga, Gyan Yoga, Bhakti Yoga, Dhyan Yoga, which is chapter 6 is also known as Dhyan Yoga, which is focus also today's session as well. And then there are 7 steps here. Through these 7 steps, we cover each time, each step, or collectively to several other steps, like setting up our goal, who we are, and how can we behave righteously, how can we live righteously, and then go from tamasic, rajasic nature to the sattvic nature, which is a mandatory to reach to the ultimate goal and experience the God's presence in our life and become the Gunatit. So Lord Krishna, when he blesses Arjuna, this is where Swami Hariharji always put it together, and he says, Bhagavad Gita is a step-by-step spiritual instruction manual to operate our life righteously. Everything in the world comes with some instruction manual. Now even a toothbrush comes with the instruction manual. But when we are born, there is no instruction manual. And that's where Lord Krishna handed us this step-by-step spiritual instruction manual to know God, not only live righteously, but know God, and ultimately attain the eternal happiness, peace, anandam, while living in the material world and beyond. Beyond means what? After death, after many cycles after death, realize our true nature, that I am Satchitananda. So Gita is Anandamai, the source of Anandam, the true source of Anandam, the ultimate bliss. And chapter 8, the Akshar Parbrahm Yoga. The focus of this chapter is, though there were other 7 questions, what is karma, what is adhibhut, several which we have been discussing, that we have discussed about the karma yoga many. But I thought we should just get to the question number 8 here, where focus is, where Lord Krishna focuses mainly how to die righteously. We have been talking about how to live righteously so far. Here, he addresses how to die righteously. And then Om mantra, the Akshar is the main, how we can work with Om mantra to reach to that ultimate goal of life, because the Om is the ocean of Anandam, the ocean of knowledge, just like because the Bhagavad Gita originated from those vibrations. But I thought before I go into it, there is some confusion all the time, which I used to get confused. So I thought I should address this as well. So the Om is the ultimate reality. Everything originates from Om. In fact, Lord Krishna says, I am the Om mantra. In verse 10, I am that Om, Dhvani, what you hear. And our kids say, our younger kids say, grandkids say, Om is God without body. So basically we are talking about here Nirguna, formless God, where Vedanta is mainly focused on the Nirguna. So here, Akshar Brahma Param Swabhavo Adhyatma Aham Uchyate. Brahman is God head. Here he says, I am the Brahman. Om is the Brahman. Godhead, supreme soul, eternal being, imperishable, infinite, and absolute Purushottama, Satchit Ananda. We have heard that many times before. But when I used to get confused about it, what is Brahman? And I thought Brahman and Brahmaji was the same. But then there is another thing comes. In India, we call them Brahman. Brahman, Brahma, and Brahman. They're very confusing to me. So now, I thought I should clarify it here. The Pandit which do the puja, they're Brahmins, which we all know that. And the Brahmaji, who created this Srishti, of course, Lord Krishna, Supreme Power has done it, but he was the responsible for this action. That was his assignment. And he is Brahmaji. Here you can see Brahma, Vishnu, Mahesh, Trimurti, Triveni, you can, sometimes people call Triveni, Trimurti, Triguna, whatever, but these are the three, Brahmaji, Vishnuji, and Mahesh, the creator, the maintenance, and also the resolution. They are also known as that. However, above them, there is the supreme power, and that is Brahman. And the Vedanta is always speaks about Brahman. They give the examples of Sakaru, Krishna, Rama, all that, but their main focus is Brahman. But you can see that this Srishti, this Prakriti, how it moves, Brahma's Srishti is all based on our karmas. So based on our karmas, we are born, we face the challenges in our life, then die. And then this cycle continues until we learn how to live righteously and now how to die righteously. So again, summary of Om mantra. What is Om mantra? What is Om? The easiest mantra to contemplate on self, on God. Constant recitation of Om mantra with each breath is the simplest and easiest yoga for self-purification, self-transformation, and self-realization. Because there are many mantras, but Om, you don't have to worry about how to pronounce it, it's so simple, just the 3 words. AUM, A, Anandam, U unites, M with me, Anandam unites with me. So by reciting Om mantra, Anandam is the byproduct of that. It automatically is generated. And then in Patanjali's Yoga Sutras also says, it helps for disappearance of obstacles and turning inward of consciousness. So we become more introverted, where we can communicate with ourselves more. And the Om is a cosmic sound that transforms human to divinity, immortality. So what is in summary? Om is love, peace, and Ananda. So how can the Supreme be realized at the time of death? That's the question Arjuna asked in verse 5. Antikale cha mame smarna mukta kalevram ya prayati samad bhaktam yati tatsam sanshya na sanshya. So one who remembers me even while leaving the body of the time of death certainly merges with me and attains my being. There is no doubt about it. In other words, he knows me. This is the art of dying, to remember God at the end of your last breath. Now, even though it says Nitya Yuktasya Yogina, Om is the ultimate path, very sulabh path, very simple path. As I said, as we have been learning until now how to live in this world, but now the art of dying is just as important as the art of living. Why? and it explains in the next verse. But basically, here is Lord Krishna is saying, even though you are in difficult times with Om mantra while you are living, you can get to the ultimate peace. But at the time of death, one must remember God. Yam yam vapis marnam bhavan tajyate ante kalevaram. Tam tamaveti konte sada tadbhav bhavita. O Arjuna, whatever object and whatever contemplates at the time of death, while leaving his body, attains that very object and goes into that very form in the next birth, as he has been constantly absorbed in that thought through his life. So when it says that the last moment we should think about God, here it explains that unless we think about God, we live in that consciousness of God, we cannot think about God at that time. We think about that time all whatever we have been thinking about rest of the life. And he gives a very good example. Here's the Saint Bharat, which I had actually mentioned before also. That was his last birth. But he brought a baby deer. He saved the baby deer from drowning in the river. And then he started taking care of him. And then little by little, he got so attached to him because he was thinking about it, how to raise him, and it became his companion. So he started living in the consciousness of deer instead of God. So what happened to him? The next life, he became a deer. So the point here is we must live in the consciousness of God all the time, do the spiritual practices. Then it says, Tasmat sarveshu kaleshu mamu smarnam yuddhisa. Therefore, always remember me, do your prescribed duty, and fight the battle with your mind and intellect fixed on me. You shall without doubt come to me. Mayarpit mano buddhir. Man buddhi, everything, every cell of your body should be filled with your duty. You are thinking about me, because he's telling Arjuna is not willing to fight. He is still confused, though even he has taken him all the karma yogas, but still he does not, he has many questions. So Lord Krishna says, okay, I understand just doing the Om mantra and all that, you cannot do it. We cannot do Om mantra all the time, though if we practice it, we can do that. But as a karma yogi, it's not easy to do that, because when we have to fully focus on our action. So Lord Krishna says, don't worry about it. If you cannot think about me, that's okay. Do your prescribed duty. Whatever you are doing, do it for the benefit of the universe with love and compassion, and surrender all the results of that to me. Do not wait for your results. Just simply do not expect any results. Just simply whatever you do, just offer to me. So here he tells him that do your action. Put your mind focus on me. So in other time, at that time we are doing, but focus our mind and just keep working on Om mantra all the time, living in that consciousness, because Om is the ocean of Anandam, as I said. So always live the mindfulness of God. Whatever we do it for him. We do it for the sake of this Prakriti, this nature, this universe, because it's his creation. He wants to make sure we do our self-salvation by serving his creation. So then how to practice it? With body, mind, and soul. So again, I put this because this really works. I want to share my experiences with you. That breath with Om. And we will practice 60 to 40% during the meditation time. But think with Om. Anytime we are thinking about, we are touching anything, just think about Om. It automatically comes when we just sit down and practice, just maybe with the Alom Vilom or with, whatever, with the breathing exercises, or just it's nothing else. Just focus on Om and take the breath in, whatever. When we are speaking, eating, just simply say Om. Then the word comes from our mouth will be sweet words. It won't be abusive or any words which we do not like, or any, it won't be hurting anybody, or the negative thoughts, etc. All that with the Om mantra, they all turn into love. When we are hearing somebody say something differently, hear Om. I can give you a good example here. Experiencing sometime that where other people are snoring at night. It's very annoying, especially when we travel together in the trips through the pilgrimage, or even at home, we have some members, etc. When we hear the snoring, sometimes it disturbs our sleep. Finally, I went to the deep meditation with that, and I just heard the Om mantra through the snoring. So to me, even the snoring became the Om mantra. So I did not get annoyed anymore. It became a music to my ears. So anytime if we really focus on it, anything disturbs that becomes the sound of Om, the feeling of Anandam. So fill your heart with Om, love and compassion. Share that love and compassion with others. So every action with love, compassion, and goodness. Again, I keep saying it, Om is the Anandam. Om is the path to Anandam. So Lord Krishna tells Arjuna, Yog Yukto Bhava Arjuna. With Om mantra, Om is the cosmic sound that transforms human to divinity, immortality. How? Once you put the Om mantra, experience the life force, prana flow through your Om. Feel how this energy connects you with the deeper part of yourself. This is how we can actually focus on the meditation also. These are some of the tips for the meditation. So as you exhale, send the energy to the universe. And here, see if we can, I don't know, you can see it. I will show you in the next session how the negativity changes from ultimate blessing here. So all the negativity with the Om mantra dissolves, and it makes you feel beautiful. This is actually the vision I got, and this is how I sat down with my graphic designer and designed this. So now, Lord Krishna reminds us also, all the talk is good, but abhyas yoga yukten chetasa nanagamini parmupurusham divyam yati parthanu chintatam. One certainly attains the supreme divine by constant practice, abhyas yoga yukten, of meditation, chetasa, mindfulness on the supreme being. Meditation means, as I mentioned before, meditation means when we focus on, meditate on supreme, on God. Prior to that, it's a contemplation. But when we focus on supreme and not thinking of anything else, oh Arjuna, then you can experience that. So this is how you practice it. Nitya yuktasya yogin, mindfulness. Whether you put Lord Krishna in your mind, in your heart, or you put Om mantra, whatever resonates with your system. or Guru Nanak, your anything, whatever it is, all, whatever the consciousness we live in, this is what we are going to experience in. Many times we say, okay, I have a Bhagwan Ji ke darshan, I felt God's presence. But as in the last session we mentioned, it's a science. If firstly, you have to calm yourself. You have to connect, and you will experience it. So it starts from you, it starts from us, within us. Then we can experience God's presence. So it says, buck stops here first. I have to fully focus on the God consciousness. I have to live in that consciousness. I have to have a full faith in God. I have to have a focus on God. Then live in that mindfulness. And once we do that, the simplest and the easiest mantra help us to attain eternal happiness, peace, anandam. So here you can see it. Dukhale, the black thing is dukhale here. And with the dukhale, this is the mrityu sansar. With this Brahmic state, the Brahmlokas, when you feel you are in Brahmlokas, this is the benefit you get. So practicing in the morning, starting with Om mantra or reading Bhagavad Gita or anything resonates with you, and then practice yoga, pranayam, meditation, 20 minutes each or 5 minutes each, whatever suits you. And then during that day, whatever is stopping you to feel anandam, coming in your way to stay in the consciousness of supreme power, then work on it. For example, some kind of worry is coming, maybe some health problems in the family or anything, then just pray to God. Instead of worrying, pray to God. Any other issues, just pray to God. And then evaluate yourself that how am I doing? How did I do? How much mindfulness I had today with supreme power? And then sit down, meditate again. Evaluate, how did I do it? And if I did something which is stopping me to move to higher conscious level, then work on that. But whatever we did, it's okay. Certain times our mind do get sidetracked with many other issues. Then that's okay. Just keep praying, and it will take care of it. And then finally surrender to Sarv Dharman Paritajya, Mamekam Sharanam Braj, Aham Tam Sarpapebhyo, Mokshashyami Ma Shuchi. Here Lord Krishna promises us, your job is only one, to meditate, live in the consciousness of supreme power, and I will take care of you. So continue to practice. This session is so important. And then again, Om mantra is the sulabh path. It's a very simple path because we breathe all the time anyhow. The only thing we have to do, we just have to with the breath, focus on the breath and the Om, just combine it, joint it. So the homework time, be aware and ask yourself, again, Swadhyaya Abhyasam. Lord Krishna says so many times, Abhyasa, Abhyasa, Abhyasa. In chapter 12, the last chapter of Bhakti Yoga, he still reminds us, Abhyasa, Abhyasa, Abhyasa. In fact, there are 3 verses over there, which talks about practicing. So the question comes, this is the homework. Do I have supreme goal of self-realization, God realization in my life? Do I remember God only in tough times or all times? Do I live in God's awareness, in consciousness? In other words, do I live in mindfulness? So continue to ask those questions for self-improvement. And eventually we come to the level where we will experience So here is the time for Sankalpa. I remember God every moment, not just just to remember, not here, Lord Krishna, Nitya Yukta Upaste, every churn. It's again in chapter 12, verse 2, Nitya Yukta Upaste, Shraddha Dhana Mat Parma, with Shraddha. Then only 1 in 1,000 remembers God, not a, so have a patience and do the Sankalpa. So little by little, the seed of Om will sprout. Gita takes us to Anandam, supreme power. Thank you. Thank you for having this Sankalpa and experiencing, attending, trying to go and get the freedom from pains and miseries through Om mantra and connecting to the supreme power. And thank you. Thank you.